Okay, this is the debriefing from the Sacramento trip. That was one day, not even 24 hours long, I don't think. Roughly 24 hours, or nope, not even 24 hours long. Anyway, yeah, very, very fast trip. But for some behind the backstory, there's a word for it. Yeah, these are the friends that I had traveled with in London 22 years ago. And yeah, met them there, and we did trips to Paris, I think Edinburgh, oh man, there's Amsterdam, Oxford, yeah, a lot of like weekend trips, and that was like some of my favorite memories from my study abroad in London. So every once in a while, we get together and just hang out. In the past, it's been wine tasting and stuff, and maybe could have been this year, but the locale was, it just worked better, I think, for Sacramento. So why not? I could do that. So took a flight down to Sacramento, and yeah, I decided to use miles instead of cash. Originally, I was thinking of driving down and spending a few days, but that's a long drive, and I may still do that for a future trip, even this summer. But for this one, I just thought, nah, I'm gonna have to, yeah, no. Oh, and then I thought about renting a car too, but I thought, nah, yeah. Nah, anyway, this worked out because it was practically a free flight because of the miles. And then just had to pay for a hotel room, which we'll get to. A couple things. My phone did not sync with my notes, so I can type in the contacts, the location, all the flight information on my phone, and then or on my computer. It's supposed to sync to my phone. Well, it didn't. So I'm pretty much landing in Sacramento, and I don't have anyone's phone number on me. I don't have even the place to meet up. So I was like, oh, this isn't good. I mean, I figured eventually if I'm not there, someone would call me because they had my number. But it worked out because I found like an old email chain that hadn't been deleted, thank goodness. And I just used that. So I was able to find the place to meet and then just wait for everyone. I was there probably a half hour early, 40 minutes early. And yeah, I mean, I just sort of just said, take me to Old Sac, take the Uber driver, Lyft driver when I landed. The other little mistake I made was not bringing, I mean, it didn't hurt me that much, but I didn't bring a charging, I almost didn't bring a charger or anything, but I didn't bring my normal like pack of charging cable, an adapter, and whatever. I just brought my battery, which has inductive, so I actually technically can charge even without any cables. But I brought the USB wire, and yeah, within like a couple hours, my phone was down to like 50%, 40%, and I thought, dang, it's like this drained a lot faster. But videos do that, GPS videos and stuff. So yeah, that could have been a problem. So I think in the future, I'm going to make sure I just bring at least the right cables for that. So, and I did charge that night. So the next day, I had a 100% full phone. So do I have enough? That charger has enough for 1.5 or something when it's charged. Yeah, the pub we went to was, boy, beer. I don't know what it's called. Something in Britain. Yeah, I don't even remember the name of it. But it was because we wanted like an English pub or a replicant of that. And then it was a nice place, actually, really clean, kind of a little fancy, clean, friendly, nice chair area to sit down in, replica, red phone booth. So it was a great place a perfect place to hang out because you can eat around the little fireplace area. That didn't really need a fire with the heat, the temperature being what it was, but it was still cozy. It was very nice, actually, and it was kind of like what we would do in England sometimes, just sit around a pub and hang out, nurse beers, even study for exams, and they had a lot of places where you can do that. Not as many here in the same way, but there they did. So that was a cool place. Yeah, like I said, I was first to show up, and then a little later, Colleen shows up, and then finally Raquel shows up, and then Gardner shows up. So everyone kind of stumbled in pretty late, but that was fine. And we just talked for a few hours, had some beers, but then Gardner had to check out early, some family thing he had to get to, and then it was just down the three of us. So then there was three, and then dinner was on a nice little boat, kind of on the water. I don't think it actually moved, but it's kind of a riverboat type thing. I think it was a riverboat, but it was on the Sacramento River, and cool because it was like on the outside, so you kind of like were on the, I don't know what we would call it, it was on the port side, But had dinner out there, and really pleasant weather. It was the perfect, and the sun was kind of setting in dusk, and it was just a great place to have dinner. I don't think I actually had food. I think I just had some wine. I think we had wine there. First place was beer. Second place was wine. There would be a lot of drinks, a lot of libations, which was a little ironic because I drank more that yesterday than I probably did in London on any given day. I just didn't really drink that much in London. I mean, I frequently would have a pint, but I wouldn't have a lot of pints. I don't think I had one hangover in London until the day I left. Yeah, that was the weirdest thing. The final night, because it was the final night and everyone was going crazy. And so, yeah, a little too much that night. I still remember that quite well. We also passed a candy place, and of course, now that I can buy, well, I've been able to buy candy for like 10 years now, but yeah, I bought a fair amount of saltwater taffy, and everything looked just delicious, but I got a lot of that out of my system, so I don't really need to buy it as much, but it is fun, and all the different flavors of taffy were that's what I mostly bought. It's just so cool to see so many different flavors. I think so many things actually taste great in taffy. I mean, obviously like pickles wouldn't, but peanut butter, and yeah, that kind of reminds me of like Jelly Bellies. There's just so many things that taste great in candy. And then we found another bar, kind of a pub bar, and had some drinks there. Yeah, but at that point, man, I was just like a lot of drinks for the day. And I had my scotch on the plane too. So there, yeah, that was definitely a big day. Then it was getting late, a little more walking around, and I think we said goodbye to Colleen, who took her car, and Colleen gave me a ride to the hotel, which, again, I didn't even have the actual address because of that problem on my phone. And then Hotels.com, the app was having trouble actually just giving me the address. It was just so weird. But, oh well. And then said goodbye to Colleen, and then I checked in, and it was a nice hotel, Quality Inn. For the money, you just get a clean, decent room. It's just amazing how, I mean, it is like, outside Sacramento, kind of near the airport, Woodland. I mean, who's there? But it's just so, yeah, it was like 75, 80, 85 with tax, whatever. And I think I'm just so used to like these rooms in New York or London being hundreds. Like, same room in London is like 250, 300. And it's just so nice to have and I didn't want to spend a lot. I was just going to be there. I mean, I was literally there 3 hours. I had them call me at 4, because they didn't have a shuttle to the airport, but I had them call me at 4. I set my alarm, and I don't even know when I fell asleep. I was texting someone for a long time, and I was very tipsy. And yeah, 4 o'clock came, and I was just like, where am I? What's going on? I don't feel that great. I was just not feeling, it wasn't the worst, but very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Yeah, a little uneasy. And then summoned Uber, because actually Uber, if I kind of worry about the time it's going to take for the ride to get me to the airport, I usually do Uber because they have more drivers, I think, and I don't want to take a chance on them saying, oh, it's going to be a half hour to come get you, and that car canceling another 20 minutes. It just can be a nightmare. So I was only kind of leaving about half hour to get to the airport, and that kind of got used up because it said, oh, 15 minutes for the car to even get there. Like, uh-oh, okay. So I was getting very nervous. I think I got to the airport. The flight was at like 6, boarding was 5:20, and I got to the airport at 5:05. But Sacramento Airport security was, I would say, 1 minute. I mean, I don't know if anyone was in front of me. One person in front of me in line for TSA pre-check, and it was just like, wow. So there was no security line. So I had plenty of time when I got to the gate, and I got my upgrade. I had an upgrade both ways for first class. This was, first way I wasn't surprised because they had 6 seats unsold, and I was first in line when I checked the wait list. Second one, I think it was first in line, but there's only 1 seat left. And they were charging like $700 for that seat, so I figured, I don't think anyone's going to buy it for an hour and a half flight for $700, but who knows. But I did get it, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, that was nice. I guess I boarded early. I probably didn't have to, but there was nothing else to do. I think I kind of wanted to just sit in my seat and be able to relax. So I did board early, or in the group where I could board, first class group. And there was an old lady in my seat. So I was kind of looking. It's like, are you doing that? I was just wondering if she did it on purpose or didn't know. I think she didn't know. And I said, I think that's your, what do you have, C? I was like, yeah, that's C. But then I kind of looked, there's a young lady next to her, like a child, I mean, a 16-year-old kid next to her. I was like, are you guys in a group? She's like, yeah, it's my granddaughter. Okay, I'll just take the one on the other side, because like, it doesn't matter to me, because I would have been in an aisle either way. It's like, who cares? But then the guy on the other side, this older man, I said, are you like, he's like, do you want this, you want the window seat? I was like, oh yeah, you are in the same group? He's like, yeah. So, oh, okay, well, sure. So, and that way the three of them could be together just with an aisle, but that was actually a really good situation for them and for me. So I got the window, but I mean, I chatted actually with the guy for a while. It was very interesting learning about him and his family and the traveling and Disney cruises and traveling to Alaska, all that stuff. But, and they were from Lodi, which is kind of cool. As soon as we took off, sleep mask was on and I was out, and I pretty much was out the entire flight. I only got 3 hours of sleep. So landing in Seattle was nice. Got off the plane and just walked straight to the parking garage, went up the stairs, got in the car, and it was so weird to have the change in weather. It was all of a sudden, now it's 54 degrees again, whatever. And yeah, it was just so nice to have the car there. I paid the ticket, the fee, which was only like, yeah, it was $37 for one day, and then plus $8 for an extra hour. So it's by the hour after that, with a $37 max for the second day. So I kind of was good that I learned about, okay, here's how the parking works. If you're going to be close to a day, then yeah, pay for it. If it's going to be like a day and a half, then you're paying for 2 days. So maybe then it's not worth it. Yeah, and then even coming home, I was lucky. Traffic was good. It was like a 20-minute drive. It's so fast, and yet Uber, they just, $70 or whatever, and Lyft $70 or $80. Like, dang, that's just insane. Got home and yeah, I just slept. I needed that sleep. So even then, I only got like 3 hours or so, I think. Yeah, I could not really sleep anymore. And that was fine. I just wanted to be well rested. And that's it. I'll say, this is stuff I will write about too. I like to kind of write this down and keep a diary online. But I also figure it's easy to chat about it as well. And that way I have that. Sometimes I do transcribe it. But usually the way you talk is different than the way you write to some degree. So it never works out that well. I spend so much time trying to figure out what I said or what I meant. And then, yeah. All right, well, that's it. That was my quick London trip. It was great to catch up. I told them, you guys, I'll meet up whenever. We can do this, once a year, twice a year even. But it shouldn't be going like 5-10 years. Come on. There's no reason for that. They're all pretty close, and I'm the one who has to fly in now. For now, we'll see what the future holds, but that's it for now. Cheers.